Yeah, all right, everyone. Yeah, live now. Hi guys. Good evening. Welcome to another webinar hosted by TPs by Recru. Today we have Praveen here joining us, and he's one of our mentors from our community as well. We are Today's webinar is going to be about React AT and the advanced questions, interview questions that are being
React
asked primarily
19.
in React 19, the advanced primary questions that have been asked during the interview and how to crack. Praveen is here to give us insider tips. So, you can land your next interview with full confidence and be a React superhero in your new company, right? So, before I get started with this webinar, I just want to give a small introduction about Rebase by Recro, which is our community, and we are hosting this webinar. So we are a community of, I think we are around now 3,700 developers as of now and we are very much active on Discord. And majorly we focus on providing, free and easily accessible contents for developers, learning contents for developers through our mentors, which we have a lot of 20 plus mentors in our community from companies like Uber, Microsoft, Google, etc., where they give a lot of webinars, mentor hours on different topics such as interview preparation, like as we have in this one right here, as well as career guidance and so on and so forth. Apart from that, as a community initiative, we do have offline meetups happening in several parts of the cities in India. We had one this month itself in Indore, which was a really big success. And we are planning to have a lot of more meetups coming up in our pipeline for the next month as well. So we are very excited to share that as well, plan that and share that as well. And yeah, these are some of the benefits you get to enjoy in our community, and there are several more benefits. If I go to talk, it's going to take a lot of time. So I would suggest you guys to, check us out. If you are not part of Rebase yet, to check us out. Hop onto our server, Discord server, explore it. I'm mostly active on Discord as well. So if you have any community related question, you can always reach out to me. Uh, yeah. Before that, let's get started with the session. And as I mentioned before, we have Praveen here joining us, and he is one of our mentors of our community. He's a very active and a very valuable mentor who is always ready, to give any help for the our community members, and we are very happy to have him here. And yeah, Praveen, we are very excited. Praveen here has 16 plus years of experience in the industry as well, and he's director of engineer in CloudRight as of now. And one of the main things which we like, which he goes well with our community, is that he is looking to give high tech knowledge and resources for people for free like that. And so having a person like him be a mentor is amazing. And another thing, I think, like I just saw it somewhere, I think recently, that you like cats also. So that's a really fun fact about Praveen I would like to share as well. Okay. Even I'm a fan of cats. I mean, I have a lot of cats in my house. So yeah, I'm not taking.
Unfortunately, in the UK, currently I'm living in London, so I have to have a license to have a pet.
Oh,
So unfortunately, I couldn't have that because I'm not that responsible person.
oh. Okay. All right. So yeah, without further ado, like maybe Praveen, you can give a little more introduction about yourself, and then we can get started with the discussion.
Awesome. Hey everyone, my name is Praveen and I'm originally from Chennai, India, currently living and working in London for a Fortune 50 fintech. And today we are doing a lot of cool things in React and in the front end side of things. So I also wrote a post about like what's going to happen. So you can put your feedbacks and comments on that. And I'm just looking at who all have been joined and like, okay, I still couldn't find my friends here, but still you're all my friends. Okay, so to say in a quick nutshell, I work predominantly with JavaScript, React, and Node.js, and I would consider JavaScript as my wife and React as my girlfriend. To that like level, I'm like super close to these two things. So if you see a quick thing right now, we are currently moving towards React in a extremely enterprise level full-fledged mode, and almost all the companies in the UK and predominantly in the US and India as well, we're all using React. And out of these front-end single-page applications, React, Angular, Vue, React seems to be a very popular library. The reason being it is easy to start with, and also it is beginner friendly. The ecosystem is very high, very flexible programming conditions, etc. So these are there. So that's the main reason people choose to go with React. But it is becoming increasingly complex these days. So that is one thing that we need to really consider. And there are a couple of questions as well already. So let me also pick up those things because it's going to be a chilled meet today. Everyone
Before
is
we
saying,
start, yeah, once
yeah,
before we start off with a session like that, I would like to give a few this thing. I'll be sharing Praveen's LinkedIn profile on the listing chat, so you guys can follow Praveen, right? Let's keep the questions towards the end of the session, so it would be a little more easier for the session to go in a smooth flow. Praveen obviously has a lot of things. Let's do that, and then you guys can put in your questions, and towards the end of the chat, towards the end of the session, we can take the questions from chat, right? That would work well, and yeah, all the
I mean,
important
anything
things
works
I'll
for
be.
me because today I have planned to do something simple, similar, something like that. So cool. Okay, so coming to the part, like we are trying to make it that way, but still okay. So let's go ahead and yeah. So as Arif said, React.js is also gaining a lot of traction these days because of server side rendering, etc., etc. These things are really helpful. Okay, so let's quickly look at what exactly is happening with the React ecosystem. Currently, we have been working with React 17 predominantly past year, and then this year React 18 was replacing React 17 based applications, and then even that kind of a replacement had got a lot of backward incompatibilities. Okay, what does this mean? React 16, React 17 is the application that we are using, right? So it is a library. A library has got this version. If we look at all the different things, we have Internet Explorer 6, Internet Explorer 7, Windows 95, Windows 98, something like that, right? These are versions. Every single year, React is being released twice or thrice, and then this will bump the version number. So in 2023, we had a lot of people in January were using React 17. And by mid-June 2023, exactly last year, a lot of people switched to React 18, which what happened was when they were using it, it broke a lot of different things, which means it is not backward compatible. So when you write some code in React 17, the same code, if you write in React 18, it will not work. This was the thing that happened. So this is called backward compatibility issues. This year, January, React 19 was released in beta. At this point of time, it is not stable. It is not recommended to be used in most of the enterprise level applications and stuff like that. But currently, what is happening is, obviously, in a couple of months, people should start using React 19, right? From 18. Now, if you do this, whatever the effort that you took to change React 17 code to work with React 18 code, let's say it took 3 hours for you for changing the React 18 code to React 19 code. If you are using all the features of React, then it would take at least 3 days. So 3 hours to 3 days is the migration time. So, and it is not just that. We have interviews these days, right? So almost all the interviews are equipped with recent number of questions. React 18 is super complex with its amazing new features and all. So we would also look into some of these new features, and then we will also open up for all the questions and other things. So this is something amazing that is happening. And one more thing that I wanted to say is like, yeah, feel free to put your questions. I know Candida has said not to put questions. Just feel free to put the questions. I'm happy to look into it. And if there is anything that is relevant, I will immediately answer. And like Arif said, 90% of all the questions are, 90% of all the companies are moving towards Next.js. The reason is server-side rendering. Server-side rendering means whatever React does is a client-side library. So it works on your computer. It takes your computer's resources to generate the visual elements, whereas server-side rendering it is going to create the HTML somewhere else and send only the HTML, not the JavaScript. So the power to process your company's power to process your website on your client's machine will be less when it is compared to Next.js, something like that. So this is what is actually happening at this point. And yeah, so this is one of the things that's happening right now. And let me quickly do something. My whole screen got froze. It's completely frozen. Sorry about that. Are you all able to hear me? I believe yes. Okay, cool. So the next thing is what people should do at this point is start looking into React 19 in a simple way, but at the same time, make sure that you are looking into the other things like Next.js and other things as well. So these two will be the future. It is not very clear that if React support will be dropped, because React is going to be the basic thing, and a lot of companies are currently living on React. The latest versions of React probably will break the previous stuff. So this is the current scenario. This is how things are going on. Any questions so far? Like, feel free to put your questions and comments in case if you don't understand. So I'm also putting a small LinkedIn link where I will also discuss about all these things post the session as well. Using React is completely yes. It's about whether you're using React 18 or React 19. That is the main question here. So basically what is happening in 2024 is React has released this new amazing React 19. It comes with its own compiler. So basically there are three things: Angular, Vue, React, and probably Svelte and other things as well. So when you see all these things, obviously people are more praising Svelte and Vue compared to Angular and React because of some intricate features that these two alone have, which Angular and React does not have. So that was still React 18. Now React 19, whatever the feature that React 18 did not have, which was there in Svelte and Vue, is now there in React 19, which makes that React 19 is much, much, much better than React 18, even for the haters of React. They were like, no, why did I even say this? Now I like React. Now I love React. Probably whatever I said, whatever these haters said before, now has been implemented in React natively. This is perfect. Okay, in case if you're a college student and if you are like completely confused about all these things, React is going to be really one of the huge things in the future. So you don't need to worry about that. Learning React is really a good choice. And the reason is Angular and Vue are a bit difficult for beginners to learn. React seems to be easier. And there are so many other tutorials and easy way of working with different open source projects are possible. So that way it is good. And it is really necessary to upgrade applications to the latest React because the reason why people are going to new version or creating new version is because the older version has got some backdoors, loopholes, bugs, stability issues. You cannot use Chrome 106 or something like that in your computer. You know that, right? So if you start working, if you are using Chrome 106 or something like that, most of the applications will even fail to load. Gmail will say that, oh, you are on an old version of Chrome. We cannot load the Chrome. And Slack says this browser is not supported. For example, let me tell you about what is happening in my computer as well. So this is, okay, I can't share my screen that anyway. So when you open Chrome, when you open Slack on my machine runs an old version of Chrome as well because of the compatibility checks and other things which I usually do. So in that thing, it says Slack will say that the browser is not supported or something like that. So this is something really amazing. And the other thing that we need to look into is how the interview processes are happening right now. So currently, with respect to the latest version of React, there are like so many new features that are coming up. And then how are you going to handle these things? So that's my LinkedIn profile, and have a quick look at that. Also, here's the post that I made. add your comments here. Okay, so let's start with the most crazy questions that people ask at these times. So the main basic question will be obviously virtual DOM and its benefits in React. See, you just need to discuss what exactly the virtual DOM is and how it is going to differ from the real traditional DOM. And what is the reason why we have a virtual DOM in terms of performance issues or like the efficiency in React applications. We can do a lot of things in that kind of a thing. So that is really one of the coolest part. And then the other thing that we can do is I'm just trying to see the LinkedIn live as well. Just making sure that everything is perfectly fine. In the meantime, I'm also answering all the questions too.
Praveen, it's live
Yes.
already on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to look at all the questions in both the side of
No,
things.
if the questions are coming from LinkedIn, I'll be sharing it with you here. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm getting
So
questions. I'm getting questions from the community as well.
actually, there are like very good questions here on LinkedIn. How to avoid prop drilling and Kritik has been writing a lot of nice questions. So Kritik and there is also how migration doesn't affect the protection. This is one of the most important thing that we will be discussing today as well. So basically, you would be having a migration downtime as well in this case. So at that point of time, you should be aware about all the known gotchas that you need to make sure. So the first thing starts with the creation of the root thing. So every single root mounted create React app application. So probably now we won't be using create React app. This is one thing that we need to listen carefully. So for those people who are saying like, should I learn React? Instead, don't use create React app to create a new React application after this point, because it is not going to support version 19 after this. So the last version that is supported by create React app is 18. And again, you won't be able to upgrade to the 19 version when you are using create React app. Most of the possible ways of creating a new React application would be including Vite. So Vite is a new build tool, which is almost similar to create React app, but it supports React TypeScript, and all more features as well. We need to rewrite the code a lot when we upgrade the version from React 18 to 19 because of the mount point issue. The mount point code, I believe you have heard of the React DOM.create element, but now we would be using root, create root. That is the new DOM API that we will be working with. So that is something that we need to work on, and that needs to be changed all over the application. And another thing is, yeah, we spoke about virtual DOM and the benefits, etc. Then most of the common questions that's been asked in React interviews is managing the state in React components. Now we have got multiple options that we can say. We can use context, we can use normal states, we can use Redux and other state management things. So the current rendering and behavior of the components completely are determined by the state. So for example, for local state management, we can even use the use state hook. Global state management and complex scenarios, we will be using something like Redux or probably context API and stuff like that. I don't think no more lifecycle methods in React will be used, because state level components will be like kind of like coming to a disintegration. But one thing that we need to understand is, if you go to any enterprise, they are not going to start the React application from scratch. It will be even React 17 that you might be want to use. So my suggestion would be learn all three key differences between React 17, 18, and 19. 16 is no more being used, which we all can completely agree, because it has been released over 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and the life cycle of React, the lifetime of a React version will be less than 12 months, probably 9 to 10 months. So in that scenario, we can even ignore React 17, but a lot of legacy applications still use React 17 at this point. Then there is one major question that people are being asked: how do you optimize performance in React application? So this question tests your ability to identify performance bottlenecks, and will also see how you can apply optimization techniques. So the way to answer is, like, you can also discuss about a lot of performance issues that are there in React applications, the strategies that you use to address them. What are the common strategies that you know? Write it in the comments at this point. Amazing question in chat from Suraj. When will the interview question start from basic to advanced? Probably in 3 to 4 questions now. Okay, minification of code. No, you're not able to see the questions on LinkedIn, is it? So LinkedIn, there are like multiple questions that's also happening, which probably Candida can tell. So at this point of time, we can just take it light at this point. Arif, have you heard of Helmet? So the question is, what should we use to make the React.js application SEO friendly? So there is something called as React Helmet, which we can use to make it SEO friendly. At the same time, we can also use Next.js, which is a server-side rendering option for React that will actually help making React better. Okay, that is something that you can do. And probably, yes, I'm not able to see. Okay, lazy loading. That's one more amazing way to work with React. Let's have a look at what other things that people would be saying in this case. So there is something called as memoization, lazy loading, pure components, React.memo. These are the most common answers that people will give. And to optimize performance, I personally analyze components with performance bottleneck using the React developer tools. And you can also look into the profiler, JavaScript profiler. And probably looking at that, I implement memoization with use callback or use memo to remove the unnecessary re-renders. For example, if we have something like a huge, large list, I might use the windowing with React window. How many of you have heard of React window here? Additionally, I also try doing the code splitting and lazy loading for the components that are not immediately needed. Like however, our friend Abhinandan said, that's perfect. Rupesh, yes, we are also doing the same thing as well. Yeah. Okay, cool. Then the next major question will be, oh yeah, so we can also use fragmentation as well. How did I forget that? Amazing, Arif. Yeah, so the next thing will be the concept of higher order components. So what comes to your mind when it comes to higher order components? Go for it. So in a simple way, how would you answer that? HOCs, higher order components. Any examples? Things would start with functions. Okay, I believe there is a lag, so I'll just completely continue from this. So what exactly is a higher order component? This is another component that takes in one component and enhances the properties of it. So, or there is also higher order functions as well. So a higher order component is a function that takes a component and returns a new component with an additional properties or logic. For example, I have used higher order components to add common functionality like tracking analytics, user authentication checks, or even we can use with router, which gives you a router access for it. So with router will give you some more additional properties, which you can use to determine what needs to be displayed in that component based on the root. So these are kind of like common questions. And coming to what people say, map is also a good idea. And yeah, with router. Yes, Rupesh. Okay. What other crazy questions that you have heard of? Like the recent times, one of the huge question that I saw is handling forms in React. Who's answering Formic by any chance? Okay, there is this amazing answer. There is this amazing thing from Ananta Kumar, creating application layout with sidebar and header with main screen for changing the HOC. This is superb. There is also React hook form, Formic, and other things as well. For simple forms, I use control components to handle form data through React state. The basic state alone will work for me. And for more complex forms, I kind of prefer using Formic because it simplifies the form validation, handles form submissions, manages form state. Everything is happening out of the box, which makes the code completely cleaner and easier to maintain as well. So we can also use other things like React hook form and also, okay, talking about the hook, obvious next question will be, what exactly are React hooks? How they change component development? Simple answer, they killed the state-based, class-based components. As simple as that. So this is one of the common questions that assesses your knowledge of your recent React features and their impact on writing functional components. So the way we can answer this is first discuss what exactly React hooks are, how they enable the state and other React lifecycle features in functional components, because functional components do not follow the React lifecycle methods, which are previously only possible in the class components. So if you check out one of the example answer, I could say is React hooks functions that let us hook into the React state and lifecycle features from a functional component perspective. They have made it possible to write fully functional components without classes, leading to simpler code and better reuse of stateful logic. For example, in simple terms, we can use useState and useEffect to replace the standard lifecycle methods like the state and component did mount, component did get props, component did update, etc., and component will unmount as well. So these things are possible here. And yes, coming to another question is, React window or virtualization? This is great. Hey, wait, I guess I'm getting a lot of questions now, which are really good. Let's try to answer everything. So validation, you can use Joy or something like a lot of validation plugins are available for form validation, and Formic works with most of the validation as well. So which is a really good. And React window and virtualization has always helped me in React interviews. Yes, that is one of the coolest things that we can go. And also there is something called as React portals and Fiber. We have lazy loading and suspense. These are a couple of things that help me. And what is the difference between React context hook and React Redux library? Why should we use one over the other? Redux is an external library that is not a part of React's own API. So that is a third-party API that we are using. So anything can be used. Context is something that is available out of the box. So most people will prefer that. Also, context is a bit confusing than Redux. So people will tend to go to Redux in that case. So it has got a win-win situation. Like there are pros and cons in each of these areas. How can we create a stopwatch kind of a counter and small app in React? We could do it using hooks, and Recro has always been giving a lot of workshops on React with me. So probably we can do one with that. So Candida, make it possible. Thank you. All right. So Sayan has got this amazing question. Is there a process to convert a WordPress website into React? How can I migrate all the data and blog posts? Why do you want to do that? It is a nightmare. So obviously, yes, this is one of the best use cases for React, where when it is coming only with, when we are having only just give me a second. If we are trying to use WordPress that is alone, and isn't it like an anti-pattern? Because most of the developers hate WordPress because of its performance, because of its issues, etc., and other things. So this is one of the problems that we kind of face here. So there is something really need to be addressed. So anyway, so coming to the WordPress side of things, just try to get a WordPress or a PHP based library that kind of like gets you the WordPress contents as a JSON, which can be used like an API to connect with React. So that, I guess that's a good use case of that particular thing, but that's also possible. Okay, coming back to our questions here. Multiple API calls and various things can happen, one failing and all settling, etc. Okay, so promises. Coming to the promises, we have got some amazing improvements with promises as well. So we have got this new promise.all methods, and we will also be using the all settled kind of a response here. So that will help you in getting promises running. Even if there is a couple of promises that failed, you have multiple APIs to catch those errors, and then you can get it. Yeah, this is one of the common questions. Learn about promises. Yeah, component did mount, component did update, component did unmount, component will unmount. Arif. Yeah, then we have got Suraj question with, where do we write APIs so that we can call the APIs from a centric location? See, basically we have this base plate and stuff like that. Like we can use a base URL and then try to call the APIs. Axios has got this controller logic that we can make use of. And there is one mechanism in calling APIs as well. We use it in enterprise level. We will be having all the services in a separate structure. And oh, cool. They're like, nice. Yeah, so we have got all these separate structures that will be easy for people to run the like get the API and connect with it. So that's an amazing question. So use a services directory where you would put all the Axios calls, and Axios has got this option to base like use a base URL for all the calls, and also you can have like header authentication, etc., in the Axios request even before Axios is being called. So before all the Axios calls are made, you can set the Axios in such a way that it is configured to your particular thing, configured to CORS, configured to content security policy, etc., like that. So questions about content security policies are really long these days because of one, security is being given in a high preference at these times, GDPR and other compliance, etc. So that's something. We could see Omkar giving this amazing information. I used Zustan for state management. It is good. Should I switch to Redux? If it is good, why do you want to switch to Redux? Only when you find something that is not working in your current implementation and Redux has got something really amazing, then switch to Redux. Unless and until you don't need a reason to switch to Redux. So anything. Okay, so Rushikesh has got this question. I'm not getting enough job opportunities. Please help me. I have 1 year of experience. Simple question, Rushikesh. First thing, I don't know who you are, and you know something about me. That's it, right? So basically, I might have a couple of jobs, but I don't know who you are and you even exist. So what I would suggest you is, number one, get connected in LinkedIn with a lot of React professionals or a lot of professionals in common. Start sharing your whatever you have done so far, like a portfolio. Every now and then try sharing it. Keep yourself active on LinkedIn. That is the first thing that you can do, so that a lot of people will actually look at your profile. They know that, okay, Rushikesh is existing here and he is a person who knows all the React related stuff. So we can go ahead and hire him, something like that. Okay, make sure that you do that. So that is the thing. React in 2024, your network is your net worth. So make sure that you are doing that. Then we have some questions are being always asked by Ananta. Ways to improve performance in React. We just discussed about that. Difference between use memo and use callback and React.memo. Okay, so this is a basic question, and probably the answer will be, okay, I'll come to the answer later. Let's read out all the questions. Bundle optimizations and minifications. Yes, you need to concentrate more on the Webpack and the engineering behind how Vite is working. Vite, we have Parcel, we have Vite, and I guess Vite uses half of Parcel and half of Webpack. So we need to look into how the engineering side of things that work. Then we have questions like how to avoid child re-render when parent state changes. This is basic. Like you can optimize it by using memoization. Memo is the functions and other things. React works behind the scenes because of the basically about virtual DOM and how it works. So these things are perfect. So one of the best questions that I usually ask students is, make a small React application with this particular, like I have an application in my mind. I'll explain it in text or probably in voice, show you some pictures. You start writing the code in live. That's how I say. And since I'm also a YouTuber, I will ask the candidate, consider this as your YouTube channel and you are running this video. Create this particular application. Every single step, explain what you are doing, explain your thought process. This helps me in understanding my teammates, how team working behavior is there. So is this person a team player? Is this person able to communicate clearly? Is this person's thought process correct? All these things are evaluated here. Okay. And some insights on GraphQL with React. React and GraphQL are becoming extremely huge these days. So GraphQL is very much used in these days because of the simplicity in terms of from the REST API. So if you are using REST API, you need to fire at least 5 to 6 calls. Whereas if it is GraphQL, it's just one single call and you are getting everything. So these are things. Recoil in React is one of the coolest feature, but I have never used it, but we need to have a look at it. React Fiber is the new concept where you do some more optimizations in React. Let me be clear in that. So React Fiber is basically an architecture. It is still ongoing implementation. It is actually attached to the core of the algorithm. So basically, what they do is it's an internal engine change to make React faster, smarter mainly by solving the DOM tree issue. How many of you have heard of this DOM tree shaking issues in React? It is one of the biggest nightmares in React. So we have to make sure that everything works perfectly fine. So that's one of the things. I'm just going to quickly jump into LinkedIn to see any other comments that are coming up. Woo. Sorry, I just need a few seconds of break. It just says, okay, yeah. Parcel Webpack, great. Web takes some time to load image, so it affects the performance of the web. So how can it be handled in React? Okay, obviously, static assets needs to be optimized. There are like IMG bot and other different tools that can run on your CI/CD pipeline to optimize images and static assets, which is great. How to use Google, Facebook, and Google sign up? OAuth is one of the most common algorithms, and there are like so many OAuth passport providers which you can use along with passport. The design pattern of React, okay, that is great. Even event loop in React.js is there is nothing called as event loop in React.js. Event loop is basically in the Node.js side of things, which is common to most of the browsers and Node.js because it's a concept of the V8 JavaScript engine, which is better to use whether to React or Zustand library for global state management. I have heard of Zustand a lot today, so I believe it is going to be something related to a developer's preference. So go ahead with whichever is useful and whichever is effective. In case if you find some of the options in Zustand not possible, then go with Redux, not otherwise. React versus Angular. Obviously, Angular is very tough to learn for me personally. So React is almost like a templating engine. So there is not much of fuzz. So I would definitely go with React. Sharing interview tips. There are so many concepts, functions, services, and techniques in JS, React, Redux, Axios, GraphQL, Next.js, etc. Interview is something that how we perform on that particular time. Sometimes keeping all of them in memory becomes hard to recollect and answer. I completely understand, Amidandan. The only thing that we can do is like keep learning, keep on practicing things. So basically, when something happens in my home, if there is a problem, I usually, like for example, take the simple problem of buying groceries. Now I started using a React application to take care of my grocery purchases. So that's how crazy I am at this point. So this is one thing that I wanted to let people know, that if you start thinking in React, I know don't be as worst as me, like putting everything on React, doing everything on React. So that's kind of like too much overboard, but that helps me in strongly attending any interviews and like cracking the interviews. This is one of the cool things that I would say. Yep. Okay, so where we have. All right. Let's go to the next one. What kind of stuff should I be sharing and how to do networking? Keep sharing something that you learn always, every single day, or maybe once in 2 days. Keep sharing till people that you know these things. See, Rushikesh, first time when I meet you, even if I talk to you for 1 hour, I won't know you completely, right? To know you completely, at least I need to stay with you at least for like 5-6 days. That alone is like more than 100 hours of content, right? So split this 100 hours of content, put it in like 1 month long post every single once in 2 days. Tell about yourself. What did you do in React? Why you are very passionate about a particular subject? What you want? What is your ideal role? For that ideal role, what you can show to be the person who was selected in the interview. Let's say there is a person who is interviewing for a web developer, and I'm the right person, I say, but that person doesn't know that I'm a good web developer. What I would do, I would say like how I create the websites. I would showcase some of my skills by live coding and then posting it on LinkedIn and other places. So these are a couple of things that I can do for the next entire 30 days or something like that. If you're just there for 30 days consistently, people will recognize you. Definitely, they will respect your thoughts and other things. So this is something that I can say. and job opportunities will come knocking. This is what happened to me when I keep sharing things like this. For example, today I'm taking this session, even though it is kind of a discussion session, which is completely unplanned and stuff like that, but still people will be interested in knowing what exactly is happening in the latest versions of React. And yeah, something like that. Can you explain a few design patterns, which one of it is used? So there are like a couple of design patterns that people have been using. So in our enterprise, we are switching everything from microservices. So mono repos and microservices architecture are the best things at this point. So what are mono repos? So you might have front end, back end, weak end, etc., and separate repositories. Convert everything into a single repositories, which is kind of contradictory to what it is, but it kind of works because you will be using less resources, hassle is less, one single CI/CD pipeline, etc., etc. So these things are really good. Secondly, maintenance is good. The microservices architecture is really good because every single part of your page can be worked in by a different team. So for example, let's say you take Facebook as an example. You have a header, you have a suggestion list, you have the main feed, and you also have the birthdays and other things. All these things are in the same page, in the same layer. Every single component can be worked by a completely, entirely different team, right? So this is exactly what I would say is really amazing. React Advanced developer problems or issue while development. So what exactly is the problem that you are getting, Omkar? How to learn front-end system design? There are like hundreds of courses available. So I would say there is this person called Alex Zhu or Alex Wu. I'm not sure. Can someone say what is the correct name? The person who is actually a system design person, Alex Zhu or someone. He has been putting a lot of amazing content for free on LinkedIn. Also, he has got his own book as well. He's a Chinese professional and he's amazing, perfectly amazing. Okay, can us tell about micro front ends? How many of you have? Can you explain a few design patterns? Which one of it is? Okay, so I have 1 year experience in React, but I want to work on backend also. Which programming language is better to learn? Node.js or Python or Java? React is JavaScript, so go with Node.js. That's what I would say. But if you feel that Python or Java, you're able to learn, I hate both. So I am not the right person to answer, or it's actually subjective to individuals. So I would say learning Node.js and React will work because both of them have the same syntax. So you don't need to learn a new language. But at the same time, I can also argue this way. If you learn Python, you are learning a new language. So thereby you get your chances widened. So it's totally a personal choice. So weigh the pros and cons and then choose one of them. Let's look at this one. Which one is better to use? Redux Toolkit or Redux Saga? I have used only Redux and I have stopped using Redux because of I'm using Context API these days. And since I'm using micro frontend architecture, even that is gone now. We use a completely different state management, and that state is residing in another microservice, probably an internal API kind of a setup. That's what I'm using currently. So micro frontends, when it comes to micro frontends, you are kind of like using multiple projects in the same page. And if that is what it is, have you heard of single spa? This is something that's being used in a lot of places in one of the common micro frontend architecture. And how should I say this? Like each and every component, you have a separate GitHub repository, something like that. It is a GitHub package, and then you import that package and put it here. That's how it works. Applying to companies but not getting response. Basically, you don't apply to companies. Nowadays, companies are like getting bombarded by so much applications. They are basically looking out for the best of the people. So if I go open my LinkedIn profile or any LinkedIn, the main homepage, people post about React and other things. People post about JavaScript, Node.js, etc. So it is from the recruiter perspective. The recruiter will choose which one to go ahead and reach out to them. So be that person. So keep sharing your learnings. That is what I'm trying to say. So there are like a couple of different. I guess I'm pretty much done with a lot of questions. We can open up for questions. Just a second. I'm just taking something real quick. Did I say everything? Okay, so we have this amazing question. This is I usually ask this question at the end of the interviews. It is something like, Omkar, please give me an introduction about who you are so I can give you a referral. Okay. Referrals work a lot in terms of 2024 hiring and other things. So make sure that you get to meet a good professional, talk to them, make them understand who you are, tell them about you and yourself, and then ask them for a referral. That would be the best way. Directly going to a person who is working in a profile, and then if you ask like, hey, get me a job, who are you to get me a job? That's something like, it goes in a wrong way. So tell that, okay, um, Omkar, my name is Praveen. I have been working with React for the past 15 years, and React has been like almost like my bread and butter these days. I think in React for even any problems that I faced in my home. So I'm the right candidate. You can actually look at my GitHub profile, or you can look at my LinkedIn profile to understand more about myself. And if you feel that I'm a good person, go ahead and give me a referral. This is the right way of asking people rather than please give me job. Okay, so this question has been asked in most of the interviews. Describe the process of lifting the state up in a React and why is it useful? So basically, it tests your understanding of component hierarchy and state management in React application. And what you need to do is you need to explain the concept of lifting the state up, and by providing a scenario where it is beneficial to share state across multiple components. So this is a question that I already set a environment like. So um, here is a small application where there are two sibling components. You need to have same state. So what would you do? So whatever happens in this component one should affect the component two. That is the main idea. So you have to lift the state up to make it happen. So this is what is one of the best thing. And this also needs to talk about prop drilling. Prop drilling is bad, but if it is done only in one level, then that is fine. As long as it is not so deep and it is not having many unnecessary information to be passed on, then it is okay. Other questions. Okay. What questions can you ask the interviewer? So first thing is, what do you, can you describe the current React projects that I would be working on in the team's development methodology? So you ask about the methodology, how much sprint, like what is the sprint size? What are the sprint goals? How do you take up projects? How do you take up tasks, etc. Then the next question that you can ask is, how does the team stay updated with the React's latest features and industry's best practices? Industry's best practices are something that helps people to like go with the flow, what exactly is being happening at this point, etc., etc. So the next thing is, what are the biggest challenges in the development team has faced with React and how do they address? This gives you an idea of like what exactly happens, and it also tells that you are a problem solver mindset, right? So if you understand if you have the interest in understanding how a company overcomes the technical difficulties, this will also tell the team's approach to troubleshooting and whether they have a proactive or a reactive stance on dealing with the issues. The last question that you can ask is like, can you tell me about the opportunities for professional growth and advancements for a React developer inside that company? So this growth aspects that you are looking will show that you are looking in a long-term opportunity and are interested in how the company supports those employees in the career development, something like that. It also helps you to evaluate whether this company's growth and opportunities are the same thing that you are expecting with your personal career goals. So something like that. So these are a couple of things that that are there. So yeah, I'm open to questions at this point. I am happy to answer any questions now. How to negotiate for salary? Basically, you have to tell more about yourself, how you are going to be much closer to. So first thing is how amazing you are, how perfect you are for this company, this role. Your previous salary was higher, so you might want to have a better salary. These are a couple of things that you can say, and also you can quote about the industry things. You can also say that you got different offers from different companies and stuff like that. These are a couple of things that I would say for increasing and negotiating my salary. Simple. Candida, are you here? I guess we
Ye-
are.
Yes, I did share this thing. So during the
I am having a
registration
look.
time, we did receive few questions.
Oh, there are some amazing questions during the registration as well. So, what projects will impress the recruiter? Anything that is a clone that has got a bigger impact? Not a Twitter clone, but a Facebook clone or an Instagram clone that works as good as this might impress the recruiter. Would love to know which of the biggest problems solved by you. I was telling about the window problem. I used to process almost like 20,000 rows in a minute, in a second probably. That one to display it on the screens of JP Morgan Chase, it is very tough. So I have used the sliding window technique, which was very much appreciated by the whole floor. So that is something was the biggest problem that I have solved. In the herd of React MERN stack developer, what would should do to shine apart? As I mentioned, Gaurav, all you need to do is keep sharing what you have been doing, and that will make the recruiters and employers reach out to you. So that would be really nice. Yash, want to start learn everything from basics? Can you help me with that? Free Code Camp, my own YouTube channel is there. Go ahead, ask me any questions when you are stuck. Go through the boot camp that are being used, something like that. Santosh asks, career opportunity for MERN stack developers after 10 years of experience. Uh, I don't understand this question. Is it your 10 years of experience? What experience that you have got? Are you asking after 10 years from today? So this is a bit unclear. But if you are able to answer it clearly, any MERN stack people with around 5+ years of experience are easily getting jobs. I'm talking about experience in MERN stack for 5 years, something like that. Future of React, we are looking at something to be almost like Angular. React can become a framework and it can have its own compiler, which is there already in React 19. And Next.js, the server-side rendering version of React, is having a huge future. So I guess something that we need to work on. Prachita has got this question: how to be a good full stack developer? Try creating a complete web applications of your own choice. Like for example, you have used LinkedIn, you have used Twitter, etc. All these things are full stack applications. So why don't you try using them? So this might give you an idea of like, are you confident in doing this? So that is what I would say, that if you are confident, then you will become a full stack developer. Swapnil, how growth is there in IT? Growth is really good, but there are like so many different things that you need to look into so you can try to excel. How to excel interview, which covers a lot of topics. It depends on how exactly the interviewer is as well, because basically a lot of things that are given in the interviews are not exactly what you would be expecting. Like if you are a React developer, there will be questions from Node.js, there could be some Git level questions, etc. So just be sure, be confident on all the things that you do for your application. So if you're working on React.js, obviously you need to know about Node.js, you need to know about front end, you need to know about HTML, CSS, JavaScript, you need to know about Git and GitHub, you need to know about a bit about deployment, etc. So I guess that should be enough. How to find the libraries that we need for the project and implement them? Trial and error method. Do 8-year experience person should have a practical test round? We give the same practical test rounds even for 20 years experienced. How to get good at React? What is the future of front-end development in the world of AI? AI is still like a baby at this point, even though it does a lot of cool things. Like, for example, Claude AI actually writes React code. But I don't think it would be able to write enterprise level React code at this point because it is huge. A lot of personal data is available, is processed. A lot of sensitive data is processed. If anything gets lost or not correctly handled, it is going to be a big problem for the company and other things. So Aditya, it's fine if the AI comes in, just keep practicing React. Tanushree has got this question: how to brush up my React skills every day and how to prepare for interviews? Keep on looking at roadmap.sh. There are like so many huge number of to-do lists available. Like it's a huge to-do list where it covers entire concepts of React. Make sure that you know at least 70% of that. Keep practicing on different types of applications. You might have tried Axios. You should start trying out Superfetch, something like that. You should try just pure fetch or something like that. Tanushree has got, Tanushree, I hope this helps. Ananta has got this question: career path of front-end developer. Okay, Again, the same question. Roadmap.sh has got this amazing career path for front-end React.js developers, anything that you want to become a developer roadmap. Then Nihit has got this question. How to give more productivity in state management? I don't understand. Is it more performance in state management? It is already very much performant. Probably question is unclear. Can you just ask me in the LinkedIn thing so that I can answer the question? So how to give more product, currently which technology is best for learning? Whichever is easy for you, go ahead with that, because you'll be working on this technology full time. So you have to make sure that the technology is understandable and it is easy. Arif has got this question again, and the question is how to become expert in system design and front end. There is this particular person, Alex Wu or someone, who is really good with front end. So really good with system design. Go check out their posts. This is really, really amazing. MERN stack is dead. Why? No, it is not. Probably ME is dead, but React and Node are not dead. Even the top enterprises are still using React, and it depends on opportunities and thing as well. So if you want to take the complete statistics, more than 80% of the enterprises are currently using React on their front end. So that's what the stats say based on developer survey by Stack Overflow. How to post on LinkedIn to grow your network and get jobs? Check out my LinkedIn posts. Simple. I'll send you the link here. So also you put your comments here. This will be answered, and this has got all these things, whatever we have been talking about. Cool. That was quick. At the same time, let me try to answer the same question on our end as well. So we have got this one. We have got this one. Okay, we have the React events here. Okay, Candida, we are almost done. Any questions from your side, or do you want to come in?
No, I think you have answered a lot of questions. So, and I think a lot of, a lot of doubts and all were cleared. Even there was time enough to take like questions from the registry, like who
I have
all
taken
had
all the questions
registered.
as well.
Yeah. So I think it's pretty much you have answered, covered up the whole thing itself. I think we have 3 questions from Q&A. Have you seen those?
Oh, I did not. Okay,
Yeah.
let me have a quick look at it. So I'm answering live. Which strategy should we use to write test cases in enterprise level applications? React Testing Library has got an amazing set of guidelines here, and React Testing Library is the go-to framework right now. And there is also this user-testing library that mimics the user's thing. So this is something really amazing. So go for it. How much DSA is important for cracking senior in SDE2 roles? Basically, I'm from the UK. So in the UK, there is no DSA, fortunately or unfortunately. So even for SDE3, SDE2, SDE1 roles, no DSA other than the FAANG companies. And personally, I don't want to work in FAANG companies because of their work pressure and their work culture. So I would avoid those companies, as simple as that. So DSA is completely a no for me, because front end, when I'm working on front end for almost like 16 years, I have never used DSA. So I don't think it is needed for me. And I don't even know what platforms that are there, like LeetCode, HackerRank, etc. I have never used them as well. How to move from senior dev to managerial roles? You're asking the wrong person. I'm already in the managerial roles doing the senior dev work. So basically, I'm not the right person to answer. But why do you want to go for a managerial role? You don't like tech or something? If that's the case, then yeah, probably yes. Cool. All questions answered.
Yeah. So I think that's it. Like, if any
Mobex,
questions are coming
yeah,
up,
there is
I will.
some
Yeah,
questions.
I'll be sharing
Yeah.
that.
So Mobex is also an amazing thing. So all the other questions, go ahead and answer it in the comment in the post which I posted. So I will be most probably answering that questions. And within today, I will be accepting all the LinkedIn requests as well. So amazing to meet you all on a Saturday. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and all the best. Thanks, Candida.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Praveen, for this amazing session. I'll be sharing any questions of power. And guys, do connect with Praveen. He will help you out a lot. He have been helping a lot of community.
Also tag me and share your feedback as well on that post as well. And yeah, happy to get connected. Stay home, stay safe, stay fit.
All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, one more time, just a quick reminder. Do come hop on our server, Discord server, interact with us. when you'll get opportunity to meet Praveen also later on in the community itself as a mentor. So yeah, do come and check it out. I have shared already the link. Do check out our social medias as well. We are active on LinkedIn and Instagram as well. So yeah, that's about it. Hope everyone had a really nice session, a very, I think, knowledgeful session it was. Me from a non-tech background, even I got to like get a lot of this thing inputs from Praveen as well. So Praveen, thank you so much for joining. Hope we have more sessions with you again onwards. And guys who all have joined, thank you for keeping an hour of your weekend like with us. And yeah, that's it. Have a happy weekend, guys.